This is basically, it was normally geared for an update for our minister, so he knows that,
Or
I think
if you
from
like,
members.
Max, sorry, I just understood what you were. Possibly you could
Yeah.
share your thoughts relevant to members right away, and these
Okay.
introduction slides, we can keep it for the DCM. Yes.
Yeah, so that was more geared for the update, just to give like
Sure.
2-3 slide on where we are globally and where we are. So the things what we're doing right now, the HQ is, we will have to at some point figure out when we will get back to the what we call traditional meeting relaunch. Of course, India is not in that radar as yet because we are not in the safe zone as yet. But there are countries like China. I believe there's one or two, or maybe a handful of countries where potentially I'm getting calls asking when can we start back the offline meetings, right? So I still want to reiterate, Balaji, that for Graham and for all of us here and all our executive directors, safety is still the number one concern. We don't want any member to get sick just attending a meeting. We don't want any visitor. We want to protect the families of our members. So I think Graham took a very wise decision when he insisted in January that we figure out an alternate model for our members to leverage. So we're going to be on the online mode for at least for India for some more time. At least at the first touch point, maybe October or maybe December. Frankly speaking, the moment we get our medicine or vaccine will be, in my mind, the safest time to even consider getting back to offline, because the online mode is still continuing to deliver value for our members. Okay, yes, I know that some members are like Gagan are like retooling themselves. Some members are figuring out what to do, and there are many others that are leveraging from the business. So in addition to what we are doing as far as value, we're also looking at other tools that we want to place on top of the online world for our members, irrespective of whether they go back to offline or online. Is like the BNI marketplace that we have been talking about internally, where we're building like an Amazon type of product on top of our membership. So members are then able to use that and sell it to B2C directly across the world. You could, for example, find a particular vendor across from China or you could find customers for yourself, like in South America. So that's a model that we are still working on. We have already started a committee in India. But one thing I can tell you, Balaji, is in our Indian executive directors and regional directors are like really plugged in, really innovative. The best practices teams that we have put it on Mondays really bring out innovative ways where we can support our members. So every week we have meetings in HQ, mainly deciding on how we can leverage and help members more at this particular time. I know Bangalore has been a pioneer in the payment gateway, online payment gateway. Most regions are now catching up, and how we can support our members in either like installment payments or things like that, which we never done in the past. So that's here. We are here to support members tied through these times. Balaji, if you remember when we were in HQ earlier, I think it was 99 or no, it was a little later. We had gone, I think 2004, where they said, I refuse to believe in the recession. Remember those buttons they gave us at the convention? Yeah, I refuse to believe in the recession. Yeah. So that's almost the same type of mindset we have now. Yes, challenges will come across in the world, and how we navigate, how we are agile in this time frame to navigate through this. And the last month or so, we have had 3 to 4 wonderful meetings, like with the meeting of with the Chief Minister in Goa, or the MSME Minister Nitin Gadkari ji, and also Suresh Prabhu, who's a sitting member of Parliament. All of them, the government has got so many initiatives that now BNI is being more visible to. BNI as an organization, we seem to now have gained the critical mass or momentum where we are now able to understand what is available and how we can start helping our members plug into those different initiatives with the government, so that our members are seen with a better light when they apply for RFPs or things like that. So that's a few tips, Balaji. I was just thinking globally what's happening.
Yeah. So in fact, I was just chatting with one of our members in the morning, and he was asking when do we get in-person meetings. So I was saying, if we get in person now, we'll have to all wear masks. We won't be able to see each other. So
some of the venue logistics are also different. That's why we are starting a pilot in June for a few countries, but we are starting to see that venues are not all venues are available. And second thing, there's a logistical issues. There's the separation between two humans and the masks, the sanitizers. There's a lot of uh, checks that needs to get done. Even your registration form will be different.
Correct.
There'll be a disclaimer on the registration form because you're having visitors come in. You don't want, there's always a risk
Yes.
that's there. I think for the world to heal, it'll take a few more months or before we can officially, at least in India, get back to offline meetings.
All I can say is thanks for the leadership, Mac, because the way we transitioned so quickly, even the day the lockdown got started, we were online. And thanks for the initiative and the foresight that leadership has and the kind of guidance you have given. It's been amazing. In fact, almost every day we get calls from members appreciating the kind of effort that has gone in, and so really, really hats off to everyone.
It's a team effort. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, man. So I'd like to now listen from Murli Srinivasan, ex-director of Mysore, and of course, he has guided so many of us in the ED team over the years. So Murli, please, if you could share a few words with all of us. Murli, you're in mute.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Balaji. So I'd like to talk a little bit about how we are going to look forward. Like I had a few slides. I thought I could share them. I think I should be able to share them, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. I put this together some time back for a different occasion, and I thought it will be relevant to what we're talking about today. How we are going to be, going from here on. See, now we have already started looking at the possibility of, things that could return to normal, or how even in the present circumstances, how we could look at business and what are the things. So I thought, since we're going to be having some members here, I think quite a few members we have, we could just quickly share some of the things. So I have two, I would look at it as, I have two ways of looking at it. I can either look at it as a challenge, the present situation, and I'm not able to this one, or I can look at it as an opportunity. And the kind of opportunities that this present circumstance, this present special situation presents itself. And I'll also be sharing a couple of stories. This is a member, again, he's from Mysore, from where I belong. During this period, in the last couple of months, what he has done is he's been networking very smartly, meeting people, most of it online. And he's into construction. And he actually bagged 2 major contracts because he was not looking at the challenge. He was looking at the opportunity. Construction industry came to a grinding halt. It came to a standstill. And he was looking at the opportunity. One of them is for developing a layout, a big layout. And another one is for a godown for Transport Corporation of India. Okay. And just now, in the beginning of June, or rather towards the end of May, he has started the work. And the total volume of both these works put together is about 7 crores. So while the rest of the people, now see, being a BNI member, he was looking at it positively. He was not saying that, one thing he was doing is he was restructuring the way he was working. And the second thing he started doing was started networking online, started connecting with people, and this came to him, this connection came to him from another lady member who does waterproofing. It was a connection that led to something. And then, in this span, and he's now since they've allowed the construction to get started, construction work to get started, he's been able to do this in a limited way. I mean, getting started at least with social distancing, but he's been able to do, work while others were still sitting and wondering what they're going to do next. He went out and bagged orders worth about 7 crores, which he has started executing now. So because he was looking at the opportunity. So I think what we should do is look at the opportunities. How can we collaborate? How can we look at new opportunities? How can we work on projects together? Because regardless of what, and now since the world is partially moving out, opening out, things are being relaxed. For BNI members, while we are able to network online and able to pick up business, in the real world, we can go out and start executing work. So I think it's important that we look at the opportunity. And of course, this I was talking about a couple of days back, and I think this for me is a very big, different way of looking at things. Is whom can I help today? I was referring to this, I think a few days back in our meeting with EDs. This Ivan had shared, Dr. Ivan Meisner had shared into 2009 when there was a slowdown, a recession. He said the best thing for you to do is pick up your Rolodex in the morning before you start your day's work. Think of whom you can call. Just spend about 15 minutes on finding out any one member, any one contact, any one of your clients, friends. Just have a quick chat with them and find out how can you help them today. Maybe it's a connection, maybe in the conversation some way in which you can help them. If not anything else, you will feel nice that you started somebody else's day in a nice note. They will feel happy that you got a call. You will feel better that you've helped somebody. So it's just simply focusing on whom can I help today, and then you get on with the rest of the day. That 15 minutes kind of thing, because as BNI members, we are always very happy with helping and giving. And this can be a great way of actually being able to start our day. So this could be an idea. So first thing is, let's look at opportunities rather than look at the challenges, because opportunities are there. And then of course, this is a great one opportunity to build relationships. We all know that how, I know, I'm sure that across, there's been a lot of one-to-ones going on across the world, but this could be a smart way of doing it. And as I was telling a little bit earlier, this was the member I said who was into industrial tools and equipment. The amount of opportunities he created, it's actually been multi-crores worth of opportunity. Like for example, at the COVID hospital, they were planning to set up the canteen, and things had to get ramped up very quickly there. So he told them, look, why do you want to consider that? Because he was talking directly to the decision makers. He said, I have a team of people who can cater you. Why do you have to set up a canteen? And this was only for the doctors and for the people who are working around the clock. And he passed on to the person doing the catering, the member who was doing the catering. And then they required bed sheets. They required this. No, there were umpteen things, including pest control. And then there was other work to be done. They needed cots. Literally, it was just a shell, and they had to get the hospital going within a week. And he became one of the key players. And what he did was just he supplied them face shields. But from there, he saw the opportunity. And this came because, and he's a new member. He's just now completing a year. And he was able to looking at it rather than, looking at the opportunity, building relationships, being helpful to others. Like I said, how can I help you? He's one guy who actually practices this, and he started seeing that kind of magic happening. So these are the kind of things. And of course, this can be no better an opportunity than now for us to be able to, immerse and engage in a culture of learning. BNI has provided, thanks to HQ and thanks to that, the Business Builder series. Plus we have, I think, across BNI and even in the outside world, there are so many opportunities to learn. We have a little more time with us now than we had before. So this can be a great way of scaling ourselves up and going to the next level, maybe picking up new skills or maybe finding new opportunity, new ways of doing things better. So I just wanted to wrap up with this. I just thought these 2-3 thoughts I could share with you about how we could use this as an opportunity rather than a challenge, to look at new opportunities, to look at building relationships through one-to-ones, to look at scaling ourselves up. And the world it will be a new world. It is a new world, but it's a new world with a new set of opportunities and new set of things that we can do. So those are some of the thoughts I thought I could share with you.
Thanks so much, Murli. In fact, that was brilliant. Who can I help you? Who can I help today? I think totally goes to the core of giver's gain. So first think about whom can I help, and definitely help will come your way. So really lovely. And I think, Murli, you're practicing it every day as well. I think you shared with us that is one of your action points every day. Superb, amazing tips, really nice. So over to Atul. Atul, would you like to please share with us some of your thoughts? And yeah, please go ahead.
Well, the two of the topmost experts in BNI have already shared their thoughts. So I would like to keep it simple. I would like to talk a little bit about Bangalore. As it's a region of my mentors, it's very close to my heart. And since we have gone online, BNI Bangalore region have done some amazing things, some tremendous additions, especially the polls for the visitors and all those things. They have been great shares from you for all of us EDs. And I just was going through some numbers, and in spite of this online phase coming in, overall, if you look at this year, just January onwards, Bangalore has had more than 440 inductions, and that is fantastic. And we have had a net growth close to 100 since January. I'm looking at, and we had one new chapter launched. We were at 61 chapters. I don't know whether I'm sitting, I'm not here to scare you, but I definitely look at Bangalore having more than 70 chapters by the end of the year. We definitely have the potential, and especially the way Bangalore team has used the online platform. As I said, a lot of innovations, the online meeting host concept, different polls to identify who are the visitors we need to focus on, the conversion process where you have the call directly with the visitor, a post meeting and all those things. They're brilliant. I think Bangalore has the potential to have the kind of growth that we all EDs would dream of. I'm absolutely sure of it. We did a business of close to 660 crores last year. And this year, in the first 5 months, we have done a business of 225 crores. So we must set a target of doing more business this year than what we did last year. We have all the potential. In fact, I always say that the experience of just the director ambassador team of Bangalore, it could be more than 1,000 years of BNI experience, because you have more than 200, close to 150 director ambassadors. And even if we consider average time they have invested in BNI, about 5 years, they have more than 1,000 years of BNI experience. So a lot to learn from. You've got a fantastic team. I just look for Bangalore region setting absolute new benchmarks for BNI India. I'm absolutely confident you'll do that. Back to you, Balaji.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Atul, for giving us that inspiration. I must say, because we never get an audience like this to share our true gratitude. Whenever me and Anant feel a little down, Atul is always there as a district director to encourage us and push us. So Atul, really full of gratitude for supporting us over the year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have some more time till Dr. Ashwath Narayan joins us. So I'd like to go back to a couple of the open networking kind of session dialogue we were having with the panel members. So, is there, for members, especially who are possibly not able to serve the business, I think luckily for us, a lot of business are getting opened. And I think by next week, even the hotels are going to start operations. So a lot of business are coming online. And I think we got some lovely examples of how members transition their business to kind of cater to what's emerging from the situation around us and making sure. I'd like to possibly, just to get some more tips from the panel members in terms of what have you noticed members doing in your regions or across in terms of adapting to the change scenarios. Any other tips that you'd like to share with our fellow BNI members in Bangalore? And of course, not to forget, we have got members across Karnataka today. So sorry for that. Welcome members from across Karnataka.
I think from across India itself, I saw a few registrants from across India here. So it's, I know Anant had posted it on the ED group. It's nice to see several members from across India here. So I think like one of the tips I was giving, I think many of them in Bangalore already attended some of the keynotes that I've done on crisis management, right, Balaji? So one of the things that members can do now is taking stock of their current business. Is it a viable model now? And in every crisis, I categorize it. Is it a 1 month? You have to categorize the time frame of the crisis. Is it a 1 hour crisis? Is it is it a 1 week crisis? A 1 month crisis? Like for example, if your car is having a flat tire on the highway, right? So that's like an hour crisis. It's the 1 hour crisis, right? So very rarely you'll have crisis that's a 1 decade crisis. So you have 1 year or 2 year, like maybe this particular challenge we're going through, maybe it's a 2 year crisis. But once we know, and there are different types of crisis also. Some are like personal crisis, some are related to your business, some are related to finance. So there are things that you can do to shorten the time frame of what the crisis you're undergoing. So what I would recommend to entrepreneurs is to actually go back and evaluate your business now. Is it the right model? Is it still relevant 3 months from now? Is it relevant 6 months from now? What are the few things as an entrepreneur you can do to collaborate with your other fellow BNI members, maybe come up with new models that are available? But the only thing I request members not, like many times people get scared of a situation and they sit still. Okay, they're like the deer in the headlights. That's a common saying that's across North America. Like many times when I used to drive back from Minneapolis to Mankato in the US earlier, we would cross like forests and suddenly the deers would zip past the highway. But the problem with that is the moment they see the headlight, they just freeze. It's like deers in the headlight. Instead of just crossing and being in action, they freeze. So that is something that we don't want entrepreneurs to do. It doesn't matter what the challenge is, but they need to continue taking some action. They have to be in the game. The worst thing an entrepreneur can do now is quit BNI or not renew, because then what happens, they're back in their own silo. They do not know, they don't have the market intelligence. Now in BNI, we have market intelligence as to when to get back to offline. The amount of data we are gathering on a daily basis across the world. I sit into meetings where I have national directors telling us which country is opening up where, what are the challenges happening. That level of market intelligence, I don't think is available to anybody who's sitting alone trying to figure out things in their office or their home. They get depressed. So my request to members is, in every business, there's a spring season, a summer season, a fall season, and a winter season. In the winter season that we are in, it's time for you to go back in, reevaluate your business, come up with new R&D projects, new ideas, so that when you're off this game, when you're back doing normally in your business, once the lockdown is done and you're able to run again, you're way ahead of the competitors, because you have taken some time to sit down and think. Like Atul was saying, he's now connecting with all his members. And that is something I also recommend, Balaji, because many times as members, I remember the large chapters we used to be in like Champions and Bedazzlers and all. Many times there are a few members we are very friendly with. Even if I remember the DC team in Bangalore, there are a few DCs that I was very close with. There were a few that I was acquainted with, but there are many I had not like personally met or talked to in those days, right? So now is the time you may have members like that. So now is the time to go and reach out and do the one-to-ones. I think Anant is here. Okay, this is the time to go and reach out. And like Murli said, reach out to them, do the one-to-ones. There are fantastic tools that we use. One of the tools that I use regularly is Calendly, it's called. So you just determine when you're free and you set it. So people are able to book time, and so they are able to book time in the time when you're available and they are available. So that's how we've been able to talk to many of our members, directors across the world. I think Anant is here, so I think we're going to get started. Maybe Anant?
That was really useful tips. Over to you, Anant. Anant, would you like to take it forward?
Hi, Balaji. We are almost ready.
Okay.
In fact, so the entire set is done here at Deputy
So,
CM's
Anant, just to-
chamber.
just to let
So
you know,
we have, shall we show Nagaraj from your video? So yeah, Nagaraj is the person who has set up the whole thing here from the symphony chapter. Nagaraj, you can say hi. Okay, so
Anant,
yeah, so he has set up the whole thing here, and then we are almost ready, and then he's just in the next room, and another minute he is joining us. Yeah.
so Anant, just to let you know. Okay. Okay, so while we're settling down, so yeah. So Anand, just to let you know, Mac has a few. Anand, can you hear us? Hello, Anand.
Balaji, tell me.
Yeah. So Mac has a few slides to overall idea about BNI. So I just
Okay. Yeah, because we have totally half an hour here. Deputy CM has given us, so we need to wrap up the whole thing in next half an hour.
Done. So maybe just a short introduction from Mac, and then we can have it.
Okay. Thank you.
You just let me know when to start, Anand, and I'll get the show rolling.
Sir, one or two slides. We have our the global president. So he will introduce you about the BNI. So you can, yeah, Mac, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll just I'll take a quick run through of BNI for a minute. Here, I'm just sharing the slide. If you just let me know if you are able to see it. Okay, so BNI for mainly is geared for just a quick update for our Deputy Chief Minister. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, thank you, Anand. So we are the largest and the most successful referral marketing organization in the world. We are spread across 70 countries, sir. And so this really helps a small and medium scale entrepreneur leverage. It's like, as a small and medium scale entrepreneur, they now have the same scale of what a Tata's or a large company where the access is there in multiple countries. People are able to source product, create new collaborations because of this. And we are based on the philosophy of givers gain, that we help each other out, and the universe helps us back. It was started by Dr. Ivan Meisner and we started in California. Our current CEO is Graham Weimiller, and our headquarters are in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have a global leadership team, and our offices are globally spread across these cities, and we help over 270,000 members globally grow their business. As far as India goes, we have 34,000 members, are all entrepreneurs, and we're growing towards 50,000 entrepreneurs now. And we, in this time frame, when everything is like shut down and closed, we were still able to help our small and medium scale entrepreneurs generate close to $1 billion of business in the month of April. And we're just getting in the numbers for May, which is, I think, equally the same. So with that, I'm going to hand it back. Just a quick introduction of BNI, and it's back to you, Anand.
Yeah, thank you, Mac. So now I will request Venkatesh Adalam to introduce the Deputy CM and then welcome him. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand. So good morning, BNI. Welcome to this unique webinar of SMEs and Government of Karnataka, Interaction for Future Readiness, with Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayana, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka. I take this opportunity to sincerely thank Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayana for accepting BNI Bangalore request to do this webinar. My name is Y.A. Venkatesh, Builder Business Category. We are second generation into the property business. DCM supports and encourages sports, fitness a lot. Personally, I know DCM through Beagles Basketball Club, the basketball club that DCM has encouraged and supported over decades. Let me introduce Deputy Chief Minister and BNI panelists today. Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayana is the 8th Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka. He is also Minister of Higher Education, Information Technology and Biotechnology, Science and Technology and Skill Development, Entrepreneurship and Livelihood in the Government of Karnataka. On personal front, Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayana is the youngest son of T.K. Narayanappa and V.L. Padmamma. He is married to Srimati Stuti and blessed with a son and a daughter. With respect to the education career, he did his schooling in Bangalore and Shimoga. DCM achieved his MBBS degree from Kasturba Medical College, Manipal, where he was President of Students' Union, and upon completing the course, he became the President of Junior Doctors Association. With respect to educational institutions, he has started Padma Shri Charitable Trust and Shruta Group of Institutions, which are running a group of educational institutions offering various courses in paramedic, management, science and technology, and Ayurvedic medical science. Let me share regarding his political career. He is a member of Karnataka Legislative Assembly, representing BJP from Malleshwaram constituency, Bangalore, Karnataka. He has been elected from Malleshwaram constituency consecutively for 3 terms from 2009 onwards. Other important positions and representations of our DCM: President Samskara Bharati Malleshwaram, Vice President Bharatiya Janata Party Bangalore, Convener Dr. Cell BJP Karnataka, Syndicate and Senate Member Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences Bangalore. From BNI, we have respected panelists, Mr. Mahesh Srinivasan, who is the BNI President Company Operated Countries, Mr. Atul Joglekar, BNI District Director, India and ED Pune region, Mr. Murali Srinivasan, Master Trainer, BNI India and ED of BNI Mysore, Mr. Anantram Varyu, Executive Director, BNI Bangalore. They are into Manasum Retirement Homes for Senior Citizens. Mr. Balaji Pasumarthi, Executive Director, BNI Bangalore. He runs Golden Square Co-working Spaces. Mrs. Sumati Anantram, ARD, BNI Bangalore. Ms. Aarti Balaji, ARD, BNI Bangalore. Also, we have other EDs and RDs from other cities of Karnataka. Renu from Mysore, Ganesh Sharma from Bangalore, Shreyas Nadkarni and Nimisha from Hubli, Dharwad, Jagdesh Chabria and Amit from Bangalore Rural, Mr. Ramesh from Davangere. Today, we also have executive directors from all over India and welcome all you to the event. I hand it over to young, dynamic Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Dr. Ashwath Narayana, to share his thoughts with BNI fraternity. Also supported by Nagaraj Kuchangi and Kushal, who have handled all the technical setup for this event today. Nagaraj from BNI Symphony, BNI College. Thank you. So over to you, this sir.
Opening remarks. Yes, sir. Good morning to all my entrepreneur friends who are involved in MSME, the backbone of our country or any economy. The backbone is MSME. With this background, I would like to share some of the things which our friends of MSME were very keen to hear from the government side. On behalf of the government of Karnataka, I would like to share, I think most of you are aware what's happening, but I just like to, highlight in some of the programs what has been done by the government of Karnataka with regard to the MSME. We have a separate department itself for MSME and a ministry. Along with that, the directorate, exclusively we have a directorate which is going to deal with MSME. And there are more than 25 schemes which the directorate has been running to encourage the small and medium entrepreneurs of various sectors. So nature of schemes vary from interest subsidy on loans from KSFC to marketing assistance, aid towards infrastructure, industrial lands and sheds, soft interventions, including technical assistance, capacity building, R&D facilities, among others. Specifically, we have also adapted the cluster development as a key strategy for enhancing MSME. As part of the integrated infrastructure development scheme, the government also provides developed sites for new entrepreneurs and aids to upgrade existing infrastructure, common facility for all sectors. Even now, we are willing to come out with a common facility, common instrumentation facility, common facilities where it can be utilized by the cluster activity or the industrial area where they can have a common facility. Centers are set up to provide facilities related to training, testing, raw material depot, complementing production process. The main objective of these schemes, cluster development and integrated infrastructure development, is to support sustainable development and growth of MSME by addressing issues of technology, skill development, and quality market access and capital access. So most important is the skill and quality. If skill and quality is there, everything else follows. The market follows, the capital follows. Now all the, whatever financial institution, all the financial institutions are very keen to look forward to a capacity or the difference, what way each entrepreneur is able to make a difference in the existing market. So with regard to the skill and development, skill and quality, government is running already 27 government tool and training centers. In other states, normally we'll be having only one center, one or two center for entire state. In the state of Karnataka, we have more than 27 government training and tool centers. So this is something extraordinary, and all the centers, you believe it or not, has been very successful, 100% placement, and the quality is on par with any of the international centers of training and tool centers. And we have collaborated with Siemens for 7 centers. We have collaborated with Siemens. Siemens also has provided 90% of the costing has been provided by Siemens, 10% by Government of Karnataka. In 7 centers, Prometric has come forward, and Prometri has spent nearly 90% cost. Some of the most interesting areas are machine learning, IoT, artificial intelligence, and some of the advanced area, industrial automation, advanced production. The key areas where all the industrialists have been, MSMEs have been looking forward. In those areas, they have come forward, even the SAP labs and Dassault. In the Dassault, with regard to the aerospace, they have come out with 4 centers. So we have tied up with, and we have made this as the Center of Excellence institutions. And we are, in the similar lines, we are planning to extend and start many more centers wherever we are getting, we don't even have to wait for years. Any space, any engineering college, any of the branches which is not running, we are planning to occupy those spaces and willing to start immediately without wasting much time. And more so, it's in a self-financing model, and 100% in each center, long-term program, 4 years program. This is basically 4 years program after 10th standard. Along with that, we have a short-term programs, the post-engineering, post-MTech, post-diploma. They can come for the short-term courses from 6 months to 1 year. The programs have been allowed. Even for them, we are able to have 100% placement, sir. So many countries, the products of this institution are in many countries across the world, among the most developed countries. Our people have been doing a big job in other countries. Similarly, even here, they can do the same. In this direction, the diploma colleges, we have more than 250 diploma colleges. We are planning to upgrade most of these institutions, give them the quality training, and we are tying up with NASSCOM, Microsoft, Confederation of Indian Industry, many other organizations to ensure the best possible programs, the latest programs also, which has been so far studied in post-graduation level, will be brought down to diploma with regard to the artificial intelligence, data science, many other programs, drone, robotics, artificial IoT, machine learning, all these programs we are planning to start in diploma. In addition, we are not waiting even for the government here. We are making all these programs self-financing in government institution itself. Without wasting much time, we are in the process of, if possible, this year itself, we have intentions to start all these programs. And in the final year, the batches whoever is passing out, we are planning to tie up with NASSCOM and with Microsoft to get them the hands-on experience with the relevant technologies, so that they'll be skilled and they'll be ready for the industry. So in this direction, we are ensuring all our manpower is put into complete training and skilling with the relevant conditions and relevant training. So in the similar way, the ITIs, we have more than 1,250 ITIs. Even there, we are planning to revamp, do many things. Now at present, already a lot of things has happened, and we'll ensure similar lines in many other institutions. In engineering college also, we are planning to revise the syllabus and ensure most of the syllabus, whatever they learn, will be relevant to the present situation, present time. In diploma also, we are revising most of the syllabus. Even in diploma, we are revising the entire curriculum in diploma program also, sir. And similarly, we are trying to bring in a lot of programs, skill training. Even in skill training, we are trying to connect between the demand and supply. Now at present, people just learn what requires in the industry, they need to learn. Basically, many of us will come for the livelihood. Since they are coming for the livelihood, we need to ensure where is the demand, what kind of demand is there. Based on demand, we need to supply. So we are trying to connect between the training and the demand in the market. We are ensuring the flow between the both of them and interfacing completely the labor employment exchange. Employment exchange is a mandatory agency. Wherever the vacancies are available, all the companies, organized or unorganized sectors, they are supposed to report. So based on that reporting, we are trying to connect with the skill training through the skill training programs of Karnataka Kaushalya Yojana, Prime Minister Kaushalya Yojana, and many other ways. Even in agriculture, in all universities, we have skill training also. So along with this, we are planning to strengthen the Karnataka State Open University also to certify the existing, even many of the at present uncertified skilled manpower is there, but they are not been certified. We want to ensure even those people are certified so that they have a better dignity and recognition, and they should possess some kind of recognition. They've been certified with such quality levels can be measured and certified. In this direction we have been working, and will ensure today's technology we can reach anywhere, any place, and ensure things happen. In this direction we are trying to interface everything, simplify People don't have to run around. People don't have to look forward to any of the challenges. So we are making best use of the technology. And we have been consistently each day, we have been working to ensure that the right education, if right education is there, everything becomes sustainable. Without a right education and skilling, nothing works. So it will never become sustainable. If it needs to become sustainable, right skilling and education is most important. We are emphasizing, we are giving our complete energy in this direction to ensure all the challenges, because when Japan or Germany was completely destroyed, they were able to rebuild within no time, and they become the number one, number two exporters in the entire world. All this was possible because of the skill and their capacity to do things, the pursuit of excellence, the pursuit to committee quality. If pursuit of excellence and pursuit of quality is there, everything else follows. So basically, most important is the skill and the quality. If this is addressed, rest everything will follow. That is the credibility which we need to build in this direction. We are willing to extend complete cooperation to BNI, which has been, the forum of entrepreneurs who are willing to take the entire society forward to compete, ensure that we will be the better people to do business.
Yeah.
So,
Sir, actually, we have our BNI global president for the some of the countries here. So, Mr. Mahesh Srinivasan. So he wanted to ask you a question like how, Mahesh Srinivasan.
Yeah,
So
sure.
if you can
Yeah,
unmute
sure.
and then, yeah. So, ask me.
Sir, in India, Bangalore has been our the first region to like as franchise to start in India. A lot of our entrepreneurs would like to know how we can participate more or collaborate more with the government, so that any of your initiatives that you're doing, we would like our members, because we are an entrepreneur group, how can we be part of that? Because CII is very well known, NASSCOM is well known, BNI seems to be the best kept secret in India, or even in fact across the world. So is there any place where we can give more ideas or suggestions or be part of the research? Suppose you need research on any particular industry or vertical, we are able to, we have members from all fields available. So how can we collaborate more with the government and be aligned with how we can help and work together?
Mr. Srivastava, sir, if you have got any proposal, we look forward to your participation, and we can take it forward. We'll be very happy. We have a lot of space, and we want more and more players. If they come forward, we'll be very happy to take your support and participation. We are always welcome. Most welcome, sir. And I'll work closely with Bangalore BNI. Any of the issues, any concern, we'll be very happy to interact with them and extend all the cooperation.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your that you'll work with us. Anand and Balaji will definitely be in touch with you as we come up with other proposals that we can work with the government.
Yeah. Actually, we wanted to ask you a question about the MSMEs and skill set and all. You have already covered everything. Whatever we wanted to ask you in advance, you have fully covered that. So we have one Mr. Atul Joglekar, who is our district director. So he has one small question for you, sir.
So good. It's clear that a lot of new investment is going to come into India. Will be diversified into India. Plus, with the revised definition of MSMEs, there are going to be more players under that sector. So, any specific proposal or any specific activity that Bangalore, the Karnataka government is working to attract more investors into Karnataka?
Sir, since you know, all the sectors, we are very happy to welcome, because the scope is wide open in all sectors. Since we are a developing country, we are not reached anywhere, any field, any saturation. So you know that in the terms of revenue, economic revenue, we are still a long way to go in a bigger way. So we are welcome in education sector, health sector, industry, ITBT, tourism, infrastructure, you name it, any field, sir, travel and tourism, any sector, sir, any sector, you are most welcome. We welcome all the investment, any specific projects, any of your expansion plans, any of the existing entrepreneurs' expansion plans are trying to bring in new companies. You are most welcome. We will extend from everything, from metro, sir. We have everything, metro to everything open for any kind of activity, sir. In reality, every possible sector, you name it, we are willing to allow, sir. We name it. Since even government of India has been so it has opened up all the sectors. We are now, none of the sectors, is remained exclusive. It's very open, and specifically, let us know, sir, anywhere, anything can be done. We are willing to respond.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, in continuation of the same, I'm Sumati. So just would like to know which are the particular industries which you are encouraging in Karnataka to come, so that all over India we are more than 30,000 plus members. So definitely all are entrepreneurs. So they would be looking for opportunities. So are you having any specific industries which you feel might take up immediately?
Madam, as Honorable Prime Minister has been very clear, we want to become a self-reliant. We don't want to depend on imports.
Yes, sir.
So wherever we are having imports, those areas you can think of.
Okay.
So you can see the logistics where we are importing. So in those areas, if you take it on priority, we'll be able to save much of the our foreign
Yes, sure.
currencies access, and current account deficits can be reduced. So we can be, our currencies can grow stronger. Our country can become very strong and self-reliant. In those areas, those are the most prioritized, more important, top priority. Even rest remaining any of the sectors, it's wide open. You want to get into infrastructure, highway, industry manufacturing, medical equipment manufacturing,
Okay.
IT, ITS, BT.
Yeah.
It's ever dynamic areas. The things have been changing. Things have been progressing in a very fast pace.
Okay.
You can be selective.
Sure.
We are very open here. Since developing country, the space is there in all sectors. Not that any particular sector it has been saturated. There's nothing like that.
Okay.
From agriculture to food processing to everything, it's possible.
So continuation to that is, I'm very proud to say that BNI has been really encouraging a lot of women entrepreneurs in the field, because we really require a lot of support to grow. And what do you want to tell a few words for the women entrepreneurs in the groups?
Particularly Government of India, our Honorable Prime Minister is very keen to promote women entrepreneurship. Even in state of Karnataka, we want to promote women entrepreneurship. And in this direction, exclusive industrial areas have been planned for only women entrepreneurs. And Stand Up India program, up to ₹1 crore, a collateral-free government guaranteed loan is being provided to women entrepreneurs for up to ₹1 crore, without any collateral. Up to ₹1 crore, any new entrepreneur, forget about the existing entrepreneur, even a new existing too, you can take any kind of loans.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. That is very important, because as an
Existing, no, the government is standing guarantee for more than 5 lakh crore.
Oh.
More than for 5 lakh crore, if you want to readily approach without asking for much of document, immediately the loans are sanctioned. Wherever you are facing problem, you can just immediately inform, and we'll be willing to take up all these issues with the SLBC is there. We can connect with the concerned nationalized banks, since a lot of liquidity is available. Now liquidity needs to be utilized. Access to capital is very important.
Thank you so much, because there is a lot of encouragement for women entrepreneurs to grow and scale up to the next level.
Yeah.
Because a lot of ideas are there, and now it is very easy for me to take. Thank you so
And-
much, sir. I'll meet you in person for more videos.
Even in my department in startups, we each year we spend more than 50 to 60 crore rupees.
Oh, okay.
Each year we encourage startup funds are provided, incentives are provided up to more than 60 crores each year, sir.
At least in Karnataka and Bangalore. I
And
think.
some of them have been very successful. Some have become unicorns. Some of them have become unicorns and some unicorns. Many of them, most of them, have become very successful.
Thank you.
Even we would have got back our money if you had taken some of the shares. We could have got the money, whatever we have given to the people. We would have grown also our. We are thinking in those terms in future, so that the money, the corpus money, can grow, and we'll be able to help each year. We can double, triple. Each year we can keep adding. Actually,
Thank
we
you.
can. Then finally we might have 1,500, 2,000 crores. We only give each year for the startup funds.
So actually,
Money can grow, sir.
yeah. So we have two more questions, sir. One, you spoke about skill sets. So still Mr. Balaji, the executive, my co-executive director from Bangalore. So you want to add up to anything? The
fact,
skill set?
in fact, it
Balaji, your mic is
a lot
muted,
about
looks
skills.
like.
But there was one question I was having. As entrepreneurs, what are the skills we should be equipping ourselves with in the change scenario? Is there anything you have in mind, sir? Is there anything that possibly we should be doing to upgrade ourselves? And is there something that is there from the government side?
So, Balaji sir, you know very well, it is only the urge to do business and the interest and the commitment and the enthusiasm. It should be the day one. It should be like, it should not that be, it should not be like that, already you are there in many years in this business. Loss of energy should not be there. Always we need to be energetic. It should look, we are very fresh, ready for raring to go and to do any kind of business. That kind of enthusiasm is very important, sir. The urge and the hunger to do business is very important. The pursuit of excellence and the quality commitment for equality is very important. In this direction, government is willing to. It's a matter of pride for the country if we are able to get a good recognition, good image that we are capable of producing any kind of things. If we are not in a position to take care of ourselves in most of the sectors, it will be a total letdown for our country. So in this direction, all the whatever possible things with regard to entrepreneurship, giving entrepreneurship training and skill training, all possible things we have been doing continuously. Exposure visits also have been planned. Like this, in this direction, many things have been happening, sir. Consistently, there have been a lot of movement.
Thank you so much.
We have an executive director from Mysore, Mr. Murli Srinivasan. So, Mr. Murli, you wanted to ask because Mysore is a tier 2 kind of a city, but a lot of improvements happening. So, you would like to talk? Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
over
afternoon,
to
sir,
Murli.
and thank you for addressing our BNI members. Just a quick question. Mysore is a tourist location, and with the world now gradually starting to get back to normal, or rather the process has started. Does the present government have any plans to support the tourism hospitality industry? There is going to be a lot of domestic tourism, but is there any kind of support that's going to come?
Yes. Just mute it, sir. Sir, one thing I would like to share, our Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Chief Minister, both are very keen with regard to the tourism sector, sir. Unfortunately, because of the floods and COVID-19, we wanted to go in a very big way in the tourism sector. Already we have come out with a tourism policy. Further, we are willing to strengthen and promote tourism in complete 360-degree, not only the visitor sites, craftsman, artisan, related to all the sectors we want to encourage, and we want to promote our culture, agri-tourism, ecotourism, and many things have been planned in wellness tourism, adventure tourism. Basically, all the sectors have been strengthened, and I know more so the Mysore is a #1 tourist spot for in the state of Karnataka. We have many worlds in this state of Karnataka. You can get all possible things can be shown in Karnataka, and it's a very best destination. And since on the backdrop of the COVID-19, since most of them can't travel outside Karnataka, they can't go to different countries abroad. Now only native tourism has been, is the most important thing which we are trying strongly. Love your native is the most important thing which we are very keen, and definitely we'll promote, since most of the travel and cannot happen beyond a state or the country. So people are now forced to look back their own backyards and they can see their own place, and they can know the beauty and the history, the culture in their own places. Probably that realization will be very important, not as a just tourism. Being proud of your own civilization and your culture and your own place is very important. We are giving fullest encouragement for tourism, sir. We'll be promoting in a very big way. Tourism will be promoted, since our Chief Minister also is very keen. Our Minister also is a very dynamic Minister, Mr. C.T. Ravi, Minister for Tourism and Kannada Culture and Sports. He's very keen to promote tourism, sir. A matter of time. And even in the tourism department, we have an excellent team. Now at present, we are just having a virtual tourism. At present, to create curiosity among the people, to promote various places, the virtual tourism has been keenly followed or seen by many of the people, sir.
Yeah. So now final remarks over to Aarti. So probably we can conclude once.
Good morning, sir.
Aarti.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this afternoon in person. And you have increased the confidence of our BNI members and 100-fold with your open arm welcome to work with the government. We really appreciate your support and encouragement and motivation. Thank you so much for being with us today. Anand? We will be in touch with you, sir.
Yeah, we are done. So is there any final remarks from your side, sir, to the BNI fraternity?
Thank you, BNI. All the participants are coming on the video conferencing. I would like to thank all of you for showing so much of interest, enthusiasm, and your pursuit to promote the MSME is really appreciable. Definitely, you can look forward to our support and our encouragement. I am there always to support all of your endeavors and your plans. Will be there. Our entire government of India, government of Karnataka, we are always there to promote, to facilitate. It is our duty to facilitate. We'll ensure that state of Karnataka will be the best place to do business in this direction. Government of Karnataka has tied up with New Zealand, which is a #1 in ease of doing business. On the similar lines, in the state of Karnataka also, we are planning to implement a lot of things. Nothing should come in the way of implementation. There should not be delay. So if any project needs implementation because of necessary approvals from many authorities, there will be delay in projects. So first we are thinking, first starting of the project, then approvals in this direction. Fully understanding what are the laws, keeping that in mind, anybody can start the project. So this kind of law, shortly it will be coming into force in state of Karnataka, and you can look forward to buying land reforms has been brought in, labor reforms, access to capital, a lot of in the input cost also. Over time, we need to reduce and make our state very competitive. Our entrepreneurs can compete with any country, any company across the world, and we should become the #1 in the entire world, sir. I would like to congratulate all the entrepreneurs. I really respect entrepreneurs and I admire their entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship only can bring in the strength and self-respect and the capacity and the resource for the entire state so that all the people can get good facilities. Your hard-earned money, taxes can serve and help all the people who deserve, our brothers and sisters across the society. They need all kind of support system for so that nobody should be denied their basic living standards and basic rights needs to be addressed. For this to happen, as a leaders, entrepreneurs need to take a lot of responsibility and work with a lot of commitment. This is the way forward for all of us to discharge our duties, which we have taken voluntarily, we have taken with inspiration to always lead from front. That is a kind of leadership. You are all leaders. You have been leading in your respective fields. I once again congratulate the entrepreneurs who take all kind of risk and challenges on living less for yourself, living for more for others. So it looks like for others, it looks like more you are living and earning for yourself. It is not the truth. The truth is you'll be doing all the things for others. I once again congratulate all the entrepreneurs and MSME for doing excellent job, sir. And we look forward to all of your participation. Wherever you are interested, whichever field you are interested, whatever support you want, we are willing to provide all kind of encouragement and support. Namaskara. Dhanyavada.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Actually, entrepreneur, that's a
We have
fact.
more than 300 women entrepreneurs in our. Yeah, sure. I will definitely.
Ready.
So, so BNI members, thank you for being here. I'd like to thank Mac, Murli, Atul for gracing this occasion and sharing some lovely thoughts with us. It was really encouraging, very good tips that you have given us. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, we really like to thank Venkatesh Yadalam for connecting us to the Deputy DCM and making this happen. It's purely because of Venkatesh's enthusiasm and initiative that this has happened. Thank you, Venkatesh, for making this. And I think, like Mac was saying, BNI is a best kept secret. So I don't think that will happen going forward as we start having these kind of conversations. Thank you, Venkatesh. Thank you, Mac. Thank you, Murli. Thank you, Atul.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Balaji and Anand. Yeah.
Thank you, Mac.
Thanks for organizing this. And I also want to thank Aarti, Sumati, Venkatesh, Yadalam, Kushal, also for organizing and getting all the logistics done, and Sumati, of course. So thanks again, Balaji. It's really good because the last 3 weeks in a row we have had interactions with different bodies in the government. It's time we get our name out. It's time that BNI is known, because it will help entrepreneurs all over, all our members. If you're a BNI member, it's a pride to be one, right? So that's something. Thank you, Balaji and Anand.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So yeah, Aditya possibly can close the meeting. Yeah.
I'll end the meeting, sir.
Yes.